Oh, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Black Man Unfiltered Network. I'm not even on mute, so that's good. I'm starting off on a good foot already. Take heed to the message. Thanks for the super sticker for the channel. I see that already. Getting us started. That's pretty nice. $3 super sticker. I see Catalia's in here. Thank you. That's cool. I appreciate it. I know it's early for a lot of folks. Hey, listen, we're gonna have some this political season. So every time we talk politics, it should be interesting, you know. So I know we got to just kind of warm it up and let people come in and stuff like that, and we'll talk about it. The topic for today is, what does Kamala Harris stand for? I mean, that's what we need to do. You know, with a lot of people are playing identity politics, and that's not going to get us anywhere. You know, we've all been I guess, guilty of that at one time or other. I think President Barack Obama, for the most part, I have to admit, I voted for him because he was black. You know, that was the wrong thing to do. Just so happens that he has some good, some good policies, some bad ones. But it turns out that he had more for the alphabet community than he had for the black community. You know, but he did stay off the world financial markets issue when he first became president. That was a lot on his shoulders. So I'll give him that. And I'll give him a little bit of the medical insurance that helped some people, even though it wasn't a great policy across the country. But anyway, so that's that. But so now here we are again, looking at a person with brown skin and a vagina, and deciding whether we should just make her president just on the basis of that. And today we're going to explore what she has to offer besides the goodies and a brown skin and an Indian heritage. Okay, so that should make it pretty interesting today. And as people come up, you know, we'll have people could come on, whether in the cloud or in person, and we could discuss it. So so before we go forward, I'd like to go backwards and kind of recap how we became so beholden to the Democrats when they were the party of slavery, uh, when they were a party of Jim Crow, when I think the governor of Oklahoma was the person who ordered the bombing of Tulsa, and he was a Democrat. It's kind of crazy how we've forgiven the Democrats for all they've done for us, physical slavery, and now they have most of the black community in mental slavery. But I feel a whole lot better now because I hear a lot more black folks, especially women, starting to come out and saying, "Wait a minute, okay, let's kind of think about this a little differently." You know, so I don't know what the catalyst is for that. I think it's probably because the men are starting to say, "Yo, you know, we got to do something different than we've been doing." All right, so let's start with the Civil Rights Act, right, back in '64. A lot of people don't realize that it was the Democrats in the Senate that was holding up that bill by the filibuster. And it was a Republican who garnered enough votes from Republicans to get cloture, which is 2/3 of the Senate, to actually pass that bill so Johnson could sign it. The final vote was 71-29. And it was a Republican who pushed that through. A lot of people don't know that. And the Democrats took that and took credit for it. And Johnson signed the bill. And then we've been beholden to the Democrats ever since. But Johnson had a bigger and more insidious plan for us. And I can't remember the title of the speech, but he gave a speech back then saying, you know, we can't have that was condescending to the black man and black woman, saying, okay, now that they have civil rights, we need to hold their hands because they can't compete against the rest of the population because they don't have a head start. So that was the beginning of it. So that's when the welfare system started to take hold. And he said, well, there's one caveat. The caveat is if you're a woman, we'll give you food stamps and we'll give you whatever assistance, but you can't have a man in the house. You can't have a working man in the house. And yeah, so here's the deal. Your working man makes $5 an hour, but we'll give you $3 an hour without have to put with the man. And a woman took that deal. And that's when the beginning of the separation of the black family started. Uh, when women took the deal. Now, I'm not blaming all the shit that happened today on a black woman. Sounds like a good deal because you know what? It takes some energy to take care of a man. And if he ain't bringing in something to make your life better and you're struggling with him, hey, why not struggle alone? We hear women say that shit all the time. So they had to have his origin somewhere. So that might have been it. If I could make $3 and struggle without the man, his extra $2 doesn't make a difference to me. So if he ain't making a lot, why deal with him? So I think that's kind of the genesis of a lot of this shit. And so here we are today, broken families and everything else. So everything has an origin story. So that's just something I was thought about. What does that have to do with what we have today? Well, the Democrats keep us in bondage by reinforcing those bad things about us being victims, us needing their help, and we can't get ahead without them giving us special attention and all that kind of stuff. And I will submit to most people who come to Black Man Unfiltered, who black or otherwise, if you really do inventory on your life and the successes you had, you didn't do that because the Democrats gave you anything. You did that because you had your own determination. And I don't think we look to our own determination for the successes we have. Of course, some people help you, but was it any of their policies? Well, affirmative action was decent for when it lasted, but then the white women took that over, so that was gone. And now they have this thing called DEI, but is it really inclusionary when you have criteria targeted to one person or one group of people over another? That's not inclusion. So I just think that, so now we have Kamala Harris, and her only claim to fame right now is that she's posing as a black woman. No policies. Just a short year ago, they were talking about getting rid of her for the re-election because they thought she was a albatross around Biden's neck. That was just a year ago. And so now she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And what we're finding out is that ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC, all of these news organizations are puppets for the liberal parties. They all promote the propaganda, and it's troubling. I mean, remember, it used to just be Fox News, just on the conservative side, until they got sued, and now they kind of calmed down. Roger Ailes is gone and stuff. Now it's all the other networks are obviously and blatantly for the Democrats. I wonder why. I mean, because all the money's going the same place. They just don't like Trump because he hates the news media. So, so I'm just saying, so today we're going to explore a couple of things. And so, and what I want you guys to understand, let me see who else is in the chat here so I can say hello to you. KP, hello, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Who else is here? What's that? Car. Hello, welcome aboard. Who else is coming in? Yeah, anyway, so there's going to be more people. So this particular presentation, this live stream today is going to be in two parts. Well, actually three, but the first two parts is oh yeah, you got to. I think BMU might have to go on mute. But anyway, it's in two parts. Now, when I prepare for these streams, right, I turn on my recorder and I try to give myself cliff notes on what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it, and then I send information to BMU to prepare for these streams. But just so happens that when I was thinking about what Kamala Harris stands for, I did a rant. I went into this rant that leads into why it's not good for people to vote on somebody based on identity politics. And then at the conclusion of that rant, I play Anton Daniels, and he has a show, and he's talking to this young lady named Paige, who says she's voting for the president just because she's a woman. And if anybody knows Anton, he could be abrasive if he wants to. And he took such a deep breath and said with her as compassionately as he could on why she shouldn't vote for Kamala Harris just on the basis of her being a woman or being brown skinned. And the reaction of the panel, his reaction and the reaction of the other panel was very interesting. So the first part of it is I have a rant leading into that, which I can't reproduce that rant. So we're going to play that for you. I'm going to just keep my face up here, but we'll play the rant when we're ready. And then we'll show Anton Daniels talking to this young lady and telling her why it's a bad idea to vote for anybody, not just Kamala Harris, but anybody based on identity politics. And then we'll take a break. And anybody who wants to come up, we could discuss what we've heard and things of that nature. And that's how I want to play that. And then I go into a part two of the rant. Now, the only thing I could tell you guys is that when this was never meant for public consumption, my rant. So it's rated R. It's absolutely rated R. I mean, it's been a long time since I dropped so many F-bombs, but it's all in context. I feel like Bernie Mac or, you know what I'm saying? But it's all in context, and you can get my drift of where I'm going in those rants. But I think the real poignant part of it is after you hear the rant is really Anton Daniels' conversation with this young lady about why she shouldn't vote for anybody based on identity politics. And I think we could all take something from that. And so, matter of fact, we all should take something from that. I mean, I already knew about that, but I was guilty of that like not 8 years ago, like 12 years ago. And many of us as Black folks were probably guilty of that with Obama's first term, And where did it get us? Well, we did a good favor for the alphabet community. Essentially, that's what we did. We gave them the swing states, and the alphabet community has been thriving ever since. I don't know what community is going to thrive if Kamala Harris gets in based on identity politics. And we're up for some real tough times going forward. And we need the person in the White House can actually handle that, and can actually garner respect around the world and things of that nature. So, so without further ado, listen, so this first part is my rant. So I'm going to stay up here on the side and you can listen to what I say, and then we'll go right into Anton Daniels and then we'll pause it after that. And anybody wants to come up from the cloud or anything else and have something to say, you can do that. So whenever you're ready, Black Man, Unfiltered, BMU, let's hit that rant. And it might be a little muffled since it's a recording of a recording. But hey, listen, I just don't think I'm going to be able to recreate this. 8 minutes on Kamala Harris. I mean, we talk about this, so we should get to know who our candidate is. And, I don't think we should be voting for anybody based on identity politics. However, I'm not telling you who to vote for. But I thought, as part of my Monday show, I want to pull back the onion so we can all see in real time who this lady really is. And then we could have all the people out there examine if it's still prudent to vote for somebody just because her skin or his skin looks just like yours. I mean, when are we going to get over that shit? You know what I'm saying? When are we going to stop being afraid of white men? None of these fucking politicians on either side, have the population's best things in mind. They're just looking for power. And if we stop looking at ourselves just as Black Americans just for a second, and just Americans, we'll see that we're all being fucking screwed. Right? And so we're all voting for the lesser of two evils. And even if there's people who are completely in the Biden Harris camp, You can ask them why they're in the Harris camp, and most of them are going to tell you it's just because she's a black woman. You ask Trump supporters why are they in his camp, they're going to tell you some shit that you might not like. Some of it might be race leaning, but he actually has certain policies that these fucking people like. Right? But we're not talking about him today. You can go research that. But the one thing I know about black people when they look at Trump, they don't like him because he's white and he's a white nationalist from the standpoint that he likes being a white man. You know, he likes being a white man. And that shit triggers people. I don't know why. So anyway, a white rich man. You know, I mean, poor white people can't hang out with Trump. Are you kidding me? He's not going to Appalachia and eating at the dinner table with the motherfuckers. He's not. He's just not doing it. Anyway, so that's just another story. But let's get back to our girl, Cam. You know what I'm saying? So before we get started, I want to make sure that we set the table straight. You know, we got the Divine Nine and all the black women and all the slippish black men and all that kind of shit. Just voting for her based on identity politics. I was going back and forth with one of my frat brothers who I pledged into the frat. And he talks to me with complete disrespect because he's a full-fledged liberal Democrat. And I'm on the other side. And we go back and forth. So we get on Kamala Harris on my Facebook page. And we're going back and forth. And he's telling me this, he's telling me that. And he says, how are you going to call her a DEI hire? Nobody hires a vice president. She's elected. Then I said, let me give you a little civics lesson. The vice president is elected on a ticket with the president. But she's selected by the president. And she's a DEI hire, not because I'm using a derogatory term. She's a DEI hire because Biden called her that. Biden says, I have a short list of black women that I'm going to make vice president. That's diversity hiring. That's the quintessential, literal fucking definition of a diversity hire. That means I'm going to hire the bitch because she's black and she's a woman above all others. So the inclusion part is not even in there. It's not even in there. By hiring somebody based on your spoken word like that, you're telling the rest of the candidates, white, Asian, anybody, that you are not included in my fucking pick. So she's a DEI hire, a DEI selection. A DEI selection. There's no way around it. You can't fucking talk your way out of it. You know what I'm saying? And the fucking Republicans are too dog shit stupid to just keep repeating that. Spill his words back at him. And same thing for Marjorie Brown, whatever the fuck that Supreme Court name she is. Listen, and this might even be about qualifications, by the way. I believe Kamala Harris is completely competent to be incompetent as a vice president. Yeah, you could put two sticks together and call that motherfucker a vice president. Shit, I could be vice president. Fuck, I think I could be president, goddammit. With these stupid motherfuckers, I think I could be president. I'm over 35. I'm an American citizen. Right? That's the only prerequisite to be president. You don't have to be special. You don't even have to have no education, no college degree, or none of that shit. So anyway, vice president is even less. It'll be up to me who I pick as vice president. So that's what that is. And the same thing with the Supreme Court justice. She got picked because he said it. He outright said, I want to put a black woman on a fucking court. That's diversity. That's not equity, by the way, because you cannot presuppose equality of outcomes. You can't. You can't. You can only give people the same equal opportunity based on some fucking criteria. And if the criteria is that you got to be black, white, that's not fucking even equality criteria. That's an exclusionary criteria. So the whole inclusion shit is an oxy fucking moron when you hire somebody based on filling a diversity quota. Inclusion has nothing to do with it. It's an exclusionary fucking thing. So let's just get back to Kamala. So I want you to look at this exchange between Anton Daniels and one of his panel members.
Okay, so Paige, you pro-woman. I got to hear what you got to say, y'all.
I am pro-woman. But in this situation, I don't think that she's going to win. I think it's good for entertainment and us women and Black women at that. But as far as you men, Black, whatever color, I don't think y'all are going to allow it. I don't think y'all are. And I think y'all are going to band together with your votes and vote against her. That's what I think.
Would you vote for? Let me ask you a question. Would you vote for?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm going to just be real honest with this. She's a Black woman.
Yeah.
It goes back to not Kim folk.
I
think it goes back to what somebody was saying, where it's not voting for someone, but majority will vote for somebody else just.
Hold on. Let me line this out.
I think majority
only because she a Black woman.
Yeah.
Let's put Sex Array in the office.
She's not Black, friend. She's not Black.
Wait. Let's just say it. It don't matter.
Isn't she half Black?
Listen, whether she half Black, hold on. Let's have this conversation. Whether she's half Black,
she's half of two of the most prosecuted.
It doesn't even matter. None of that matters. Why? Only because of that.
Because I would love to see a woman in office.
Oh, why?
I want to give us a shot. I mean, how many presidents have we had that were all men? Like, let's.
All right, vote for
everything on my father's grave. I am so broken right now, man.
Why?
Do you not see how that's a bad idea?
Elaborate.
Okay, so we're in 3 proxy wars with some of the most powerful leaders in the world. She failed at the border, in which we have an estimation of 15 to 20 million people illegally into this country. That is literally overtaking and bankrupting Chicago to the tune of over $400 million per year, and they're in a deficit. Oakland is going out of business. San Francisco ditto. California, $65 billion deficit. New York, they're literally cutting trash, in which they are the rattiest, dirtiest city, and they've taken up resources as far as free healthcare, free hotels to the tune of $600 a day. They're literally taking over your schools. Your taxpayer dollars are going to fund the migrant crisis. She was supposed to be in charge of this. We have a failing economy. Every single day I see people getting on the internet talking about $30 an hour is the new minimum wage because inflation is fucking out of control. At one point, it was at almost 10%, depending on what city that you were. She has no policy, no record to stand on. One of the biggest things that she did in her career was lock up more Black men than ever before, but we sitting here and vote her in the office on identity politics. The very person that she was under as far as the president of the United States of America, she called him racist during a debate, which shows you how fake she is. And the only thing that we can stand on from a policy perspective is whether or not she's Black and she's a woman. We did that during the Obama administration, and then he didn't do anything for Black people. As a matter of fact, y'all complain because the only person that he did, or the only group of people that he really stood for is the alphabet community, and that's his landmark thing that he's still standing on today. So the only thing that we have to stand on is identity politics. That shit didn't work with Tiffany Henyard in Dayton, Illinois. It didn't work with Karen Bass. It didn't work with Lori Lightfoot in Chicago. It didn't work with Brandon Johnson that then took over her position in Chicago. It didn't work with Andre Dickens in Atlanta. It didn't work with Eric Adams in New York. It doesn't work across the country. Every single Democratic city is a hellhole. And we sitting here talking about identity politics?
Let me stop it right there. You can stop it right there, BMU. You can stop it right there. Hey, listen, anybody, you heard what Anton said. This is what we're up against. We already know that there's a cadre of people, Black women, maybe some white women, and of course the Sims who are tied to their women, who are going to vote for her for no other reason because she's she's tanned and has a vagina. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've been down that road, and I'm gonna have to repeat that. So the purpose of this is to kind of expose that, and I think this conversation between Anton and Paige kind of exposes how bad that theory or that kind of methodology is. Now, if you could find some policies that you agree with Kamala Harris and you vote for her based on that, even if I think it's a bad choice, that's something that has substance. But just on identity, we can't afford that shit no more. We as a country, forget about us as black people for a second. We as a country cannot afford to vote for her based on that. It's got to be something more. You know, anybody who wants to come up and say anything on this while we can, before I go to part two, you don't have to cam up. You could be in the cloud. You can say your little piece. You could join the panel, whatever. Trey Ferg, I see you out there. Big Ant, I see you out there. I know you don't come up, but if you got something to say on that, Car, or anybody else, well, come on up and say something. On what you thought about what you heard from Anton Daniels from the first part of the rant. Now, I gotta say, my second part of the rant is classic even for me. I gotta kind of brag on it because I couldn't reproduce that if I wanted to. But I didn't want to go right into that because I wanted us to get a chance to breathe and talk about what we've heard about the identity politics part. So I would imagine, since everybody's kind of silent, that you might agree that that's not a good idea. But feel free to kind of just chime in and let me know what you think about what you heard already. That would be something that we could at least start the conversation, or else we could just keep plowing through. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one thing. The Dow. We see what's happening to the stock market. I just don't want to blame it on Kamala Harris but the Biden, the politics, the inflation. We're moving into recession. All of those indicators have been triggered. The market was really red hot anyway. It's down like 7% on the Dow, more like 13-14% in the NASDAQ, and around 9 to 10% right now in the on the S&P. And those, it was due for a correction anyway. I think once people start selling for profit, it kind of snowballs. I think the real thing is if it goes down more than 20%, then we're really in collapse mode. So it was going to kind of correct anyway, no matter what. Who got somebody looked like they were coming up? That was a head fake. All right, man. What's going on, man? It's Ghetto Point of View. What's happening, man? I don't know how much you heard.
Oh, Payne, how are you, good sir?
All right, man. How are you doing, man? How much of it did you hear?
I mean, I had seen this clip when it initially went viral, and then Anton did the follow-up interview on Fox, with
yes, right. Yeah. So what's your opinion of the identity politics part?
I mean, I know it's not even, it's still a little early. How harsh can I be?
Well, no, no, not about being harsh, but voting for somebody based on identity politics. Do you have any problem with that in general?
1,000%, sir. I do.
Okay.
Of course.
That's what I was really asking.
Yes, sir. I just think it's very sad that in 2024, when there's so much information at our fingertips, because people become popular and we like them, we will ignore all of the information that is readily available at our disposal, good sir, for the sake of I like this person versus I don't like this one. And I don't care what the person I like has done. I'm still running for them. You can't tell me, I don't care about how many women she locked up after they dropped their kids off from school and the kids still committed truancy. I don't care how many mothers had medical excuses and their kids was unable. Their kids was physically unable, sir, to go to school because they had medical conditions. I'm still going to lock you up. I don't care about none of that. I don't care. My source said it's time to vote, sir. I don't care how many $2 firefighters was kept in California and they kept them in jail even after their sentences was over because they needed the cheap firefighters for the budget. Right. Because they had already allocated the money for real firefighters to other stuff, And then the kicker is all the firefighter training you get, you can't even go get a firefighter job after you get out. So, okay, this is crazy. This whole situation is just sad.
Yeah.
I think it's just a testament to really the breakdown in our community, because you have some people who really, they just go for what glitters. And then you have other people that be like, nah, we got to dig a little deeper. And then you get you're a nerd, you a coon, you a Oreo. Why? What are you talking about? You don't like the Flash? Flash is cool, but like when we gonna ask for a little more, that's all I'm saying. And I'll leave it there, good brother.
No, I'm looking at Anissa. She's talking about all the shit that Trump's done, right? And I said, well,
I love you, Anissa.
Yeah, and listen, if we're gonna look tit for tat, and it's not based on that. So people have the right not to like him because he has those 34 quote unquote felonies. But I don't think that. I think that pales in comparison to her withholding evidence that might have got a guy killed at death penalty.
100%.
If I had to weigh those two things, forget it.
I used to go to school, and we've all worked in different jobs and stuff, and some of you have done military service. Salute to y'all for that. And isn't it in those environments they say you got to learn how to work with people you may not always like. You got to learn how to be able to do a project with some kid who may sit at the other table, and y'all done teased each other all school year, but y'all been assigned to the same team. Y'all got to get this done. How come we got to teach our children to be able to work with people they may not always like if it's in their best interest, where as adults we could just do all of this? I'm not messing with you because I don't like you. I don't care how good it might be for me.
Exactly. It's crazy. Hey, Trey Ferg, what's happening?
Peace,
what you got
good sir.
So you up here for the rant? What you got to say? Go ahead. I see you winding up. Over there.
Yeah. Listen, I don't even know how to begin. When I heard from what I've seen throughout our history, it's just unfortunate that here we are now. We're supposed to be the most advanced, technological advanced, the most knowledgeable. We still dumb as shit when it comes to our civilization.
Come on.
How are we going to survive to the future? And these people on both sides play in our face. Now, I'm a speaker in Trump's, in my understanding, he's a poor businessman. We know that. He's taking advantage of the white privilege by using the loopholes to sort of escape money problems and sort of rebuild, because even after he's filed bankruptcy, he has Trump towers in Russia, China, all the countries America say we at war with but never fight, just talk shit on the side.
Right.
Unfortunately, Kamala is part of the same rhetoric, where allow liberated freedom with more women, allow uncontrollable situations when it comes to our youth. And this whole behavior over time just continues to generate this second-class mindset, the fighting amongst our strongest, our most, vocal, who should be standing in the same line, pushing one agenda as far as our survival, our stake in America. They don't want to give us 40 acres and a mule, but they still not training young boys. They're still not training young men. But I can allow young boys to basically learn a lifestyle that's going to keep them subjugated, because most people that live the LGBTQ, they poor anyway. They ain't got shit to lose anyway, so they trying to escape their reality.
Well, I don't know about being poor.
Well, most of them are poor. I don't see too many of them in business suits walking around.
Who, the alphabet community people?
The black folk.
Oh, okay.
The black folk. I'm talking black only.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion.
Right, that's cool. That's cool.
And as far as this right now, and I've said this, and I think this is going to be her turning point, because even brothers who may not have been a part of politics and understanding before, Obama sort of woke us up, because we rallied behind him just because he was a black man. Both sides, right?
Yep.
But when he got in, what did he push in our face? I'm gonna turn all y'all sons into them flamboyants. I know this because I was in the education. I was in the schools, and they was pushing this LGBTQ mindset to the kids, elementary students. They were taking them permission. Listen, they handed my son a permission slip to go to the Pride Parade. This those that are, this is what happens. And now here we are 12 years later, 16, however, 12 years later, brothers have sort of woken up to like, you know what? Ain't nobody fighting for us. Unless she comes and talks to the brother specifically, she's going to lose the race by a
Well, let me
landslide.
ask you a question. Is there anything she could say to us that's going to make a difference?
She's gonna.
No,
I don't know.
I'm
I don't know
asking.
if there's something specifically to say. She
Okay.
just has to be willing to include the brother into this transformation into the next millennium. Is all I'm saying.
Okay, so we got to take her word for it. Just saying.
But they have to be included in the building of America.
Yeah, okay,
They
but
have to be.
we have to take her word for it, man. We can't.
And that's it. But see, hold on, it's my last thing, Payne. See, we argue over whether or not she's black or white or whatever. Her ass is light skinned just like me. Regardless of what her skin complexion says she is, what is her mindset? She's married to a small hat. That's her mindset. She's going to move. I ain't never seen it in all my life in positions of power where the man allow a woman to tell them what to do. Maybe in the black community, but in the world leaders, sit your little feminine ass down and you're going to do what I say. Now and again, hey, I don't see a white man allowing a black woman tell him what to do. I don't give a damn where you at. What you
doing. But no, I hear what you're saying. I mean, listen, you know, if you guys stick around, I got a part 2 to this rant, and then it goes right into this guy from Fox News going through what she actually stands for in her own words. And so it's going to take a little while to get there. So whenever you're ready, hey, KP, let's before we go on, what you got, KP? I see you back there. KP, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so go ahead. Before we go to the second rant, go ahead. What you got on the top?
Look, I'll say this, man. I'm agreeing with the brothers. I understand what Trey Ferguson is saying in his ghetto point of view. At the end of the day, man, if you just look at this from a 50,000 feet point of view, yes, I believe Trump is racist. That's fine. But I've worked with racist people before, and it didn't stop me from getting money. I'll say this: the Keystone Pipeline was open when Trump was in office. They closed it the next day when he got out of office.
That's right.
We knew inflation was coming because they printed the money for the C-19.
That's right.
So you're going to close the pipeline, and you know inflation is coming, and then you're going to bring people in, and then tell the men that was here that built the country that you get nothing, and then you're going to ask them to vote for you as if it means nothing. Man, it's irrational.
Yeah,
and for
absolutely.
anybody to keep telling the men to get behind this woman or these women, you've lost your best part of your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what's the point of us watching documentaries about the Red Tails, the GI Bill, or anything like that if we're going to just give away everything that those guys fought for 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago to somebody else that never fought? That's like me.
We already have a nigger mayor. We don't need any more nigger big shots.
Listen, man, Trey Ferg, that's like me telling you, since you were a veteran, just give me your veteran benefits, even though I'm not your son. What? You just gonna give that away to me? You just gonna bequeath that to me? Man, it doesn't work like that, bro. So at the end of the day, man, these people gotta fight for their own. Like I heard somebody say a long time ago, they gotta hold their own nuts. I ain't holding nobody else's. If it ain't a black man, I ain't for him.
I hear you, but yeah, but again, man, not all black men are black men.
Well, not all are, but I'm gonna put it like this: Medgar Evers, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all those brothers, Bobby Seale, Eldridge Cleaver, all those brothers fought, and most of them died for us.
That's right.
I'm not about to give you no credit to be something that you're not when none of your people has shed no blood over here. Nobody got assassinated for you to get the right for you to be able to do anything. You piggybacked off the back of what those guys did, and now you want me to act like you're a representative of me? No, it doesn't work like that. Never in my lifetime. Never. You're going to have to wait till I die to get that one off.
You got it. Ragnar Runner, how you doing? Hey, listen, okay, so listen, stick around, fellas. Let's hit that second part of the BMU. If you could hit that second part, just start it from where it left off, and we can go from there. But, you know, he's absolutely right. Anton's absolutely right. You can't just vote on these things. So let's get back to my rant a little bit, and then we're gonna go to the other piece that I want to talk about, and we'll get there. So let me get out of this, and we're gonna go back to another piece. I'm gonna go back to the rant for a second. I'm gonna stop sharing this. I'm gonna share this. What I want to do is I want to go through a clip on 7 minutes of you choose whether you agree with these policies that your vice president is proposing or is espousing, and think about it if she had the presidential hat on. Now, she wouldn't be able to get all these things passed, so to be fair, but some executive orders, she could actually do shit like with Title IX. Biden changed Title IX through executive order, and that shit is probably unfucking constitutional. And somebody, and I don't know where you fucking women are, but the fact that women are not BLMing on all the streets is amazing to me. You women of the West are the most fucked up women in the world. I'm serious. How could you possibly? You'll talk about how men invade and men abuse you, how men do all this shit to you, and you're letting men, chicks with dicks, absolutely invade your spaces. They're putting their dicks in your faces in locker rooms. They're putting their dicks in the boxing ring and punching your fucking lights out. They're putting their dicks everywhere you used to have sanctuary. And you fucking bitches are just sitting here letting it happen. The only fucking thing y'all could argue about is real men. How much you hate fucking real goddamn men. And then you have these men posing as women, taking over every fucking thing you hold dear. You're stupid motherfuckers, man. I mean, come on. Stand up and fight for yourself on something that's meaningful. Instead, you want to put a woman who's a champion for that shit in the Oval fucking office. You know, man, you're going to deserve every fucking thing you get if she becomes president. You're going to deserve everything you get if she becomes president. You're going to deserve everything you get if she becomes president. You know, this is funny, right? I said this before. I said, this is saying, right? It doesn't matter how long it takes for you to get a revelation. As long as you do, I don't know if that's really true. I really don't believe. I mean, it's good that you have a revelation, but sometimes this shit comes too fucking late. If you can get it earlier, that's the better. If you get your revelations earlier, that's better. If all you sisters and all you men who carry yourselves to these to chicks, go vote for a woman based on the color of her skin. You're gonna get every goddamn thing you deserve, and you're gonna take the rest of us with you. We already have 4 years of Trump. We already have 4 years of Trump. And we're talking about his policies. Let's just say, yeah, I mean, I'll give you the January 6th thing, right? I'll give you that. It was thwarted. Our fucking country held against a couple of bunkers going into the Capitol, but there was a small cadre of guys who could have done real damage. And the chick that got shot, I don't deserve, I think anybody I don't salute anybody dying. She was a soldier who actually betrayed her country. She should have never been there. She should have never been there. And once she got past that barrier, everybody keeps forgetting that was the last barrier between that angry fucking mob and the congressman. The Secret Service guy had no choice but to do what he did. Because if that mob would have got through, nobody knows what would have happened. Nobody knows what would have happened. They could have killed some of those people back there. They was unruly. They were crazy. They were breaking shit. You know, if I have a Secret Service guard, I don't want them to get through. Do what you have to do. That's why he got off. That's why he got off. He did his job. He couldn't let the fucking mob tell all those senators and congressmen that was being barricaded back there. Are you kidding me? He did a better job than the fucking people who tried to get the president assassinated just a little while ago. You know, so I mean, wake up, people. Get your emotions out of the way. What kind of country do you have? Do we want some conservatism, both fiscally and spiritually and you know, socially, where everything doesn't go? You can have your guns, you can have your free speech, you can have certain things, but you don't want to have crazy people with unfettered rights. Nobody, the women say, well, my number, you want to take away the A-word. I don't believe anybody should have the right to delete people because they just want to. No. How about being a little chaste? How about being, you know, how about protecting your womb and stop blaming it on men? Because if you know men, like I know men, and you women, you do know men. You know that every man who's healthy wants some sex from you. And if you let him stick the tip in, that's you letting him stick the tip in. And it goes in that order in every single court of law from the top to the bottom in this country. So if it's true in the law room, it's true in the bedroom. You gotta let the motherfucker in. Of course he wants in. And so only a small percentage of men who are gonna walk away from hot box. That's a fact. So this woman that's gonna want to be president is gonna lean into all the bullshit. So let me tell you, the end of the rant, let's roll a goddamn clip.
The honeymoon was fun while it lasted, and Democrats are now realizing they might have made a big mistake.
Look, she's going to get slaughtered. They're coming out. They're coming, and this is just part of no different than it was any other time. And they have got to get up and get ready, and they've got to be able to defend and attack at the same time. And there's going to be a time of struggle of definition as to who Vice President Harris is. And we better be ready for that.
That's a great question. Who is Kamala Harris? Let's hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, I am radical. I do believe that we need to get radical about what we are doing and take it seriously.
Kamala Harris is a San Francisco radical, tagged as the most liberal senator to the left of Bernie Sanders. And if she gets her hands on America, she'll empty the prisons.
I absolutely am without any question committed to reducing the prison population. I'm not going to commit to a specific number because I want to make sure I can meet it. But I am committed to drastically reducing our prison population.
Kamala doesn't want to lock up more criminals, and the criminals who are already locked up, she wants to let them out early. And if you're on death row for murder, she wants to let you vote.
People who are convicted in prison, like the Boston Marathon bomber, on death row, people who are convicted of sexual assault, they should be able to vote?
I think we should have that conversation.
Kamala wants ballot harvesting inside of prisons. She also wants to defund the police.
It is wrong-headed thinking to think that the only way you're going to get communities to be safe is to put more police officers on the street.
Where do you stand on defund the police?
Look, right. So here's the thing. Defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety.
So when the prisons are emptied and the police are defunded, she wants to seize your guns so you can't defend yourself.
What would you do about the millions of specifically assault weapons that are already in circulation? What do you do about those?
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
Mandatory buyback means the government knocks at your door, takes your rifle, and mails you a tiny check. Your home won't be protected, and neither will the border.
we're not going to treat people who are undocumented and cross the border as criminals. That's correct. That is correct.
So it's not a crime to break into the country in Kamala's America. But if you do and you rape a kid, ICE won't pick you up because ICE will be gone.
I think there's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role and the way that it is being administered and the work it is doing. And we need to probably think about starting from scratch.
Well, you might as well start from scratch too, because your job will be gone. Kamala Harris backs AOC's Green New Deal and wants to ban American natural gas exploration.
I am offering a Green New Deal that has been described as one of the most aggressive and progressive. There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
Would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes.
The Green New Deal taxes cow flatulence, spends billions on solar-powered airplanes, seems safe, and sends millions of American energy jobs to China. And after your job's gone, she wants to take away your private health insurance too.
You support the Medicare for All bill, I think initially co-sponsored by Senator Bernie Sanders. You're also a co-sponsor on it. I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance. So for people out there who like their insurance, they don't get to keep it?
Let's eliminate all of that. Let's move on.
Kamala keeps her nice health care, but you have to wait in line for months like a Canadian to see a doctor or die on a waiting list. But if you're in prison, you get the best health care ever.
I made sure that they changed the policy in the state of California so that every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access to the medical care that they desired and need.
Taxpayer-funded sex changes for prison inmates. $100,000 surgery so men can go to women's prisons and have more fun. If the country weren't bankrupt enough, how about some reparations?
Should Black people get reparations?
I think there has to be some form of reparations, and we can discuss what that is.
That's the Kamala Harris record. She's extreme, she's dangerous, she's flat out crazy. After Trump pointed all of that out, the Harris campaign says she doesn't believe those things anymore. Their defense is, yeah, all those things Kamala said 4 years ago were lies. This isn't a woman you can trust. And the biggest lie she told was that Joe Biden had his act together. She lied right to our face.
If there ever is a problem, do you think that you could go tell the American public? Do you think in your role that you're in a position to do that?
Of course, if necessary, but there's no need for that.
There was. This is a radical and power-hungry San Francisco sideshow who will do or say anything to get ahead. She's done nothing to help you get ahead. She gets ahead. It's all about her. And everything she's gotten has been handed to her. The California machine promoted her. She didn't win competitive races. She's a Democrat in California. The only time she faced serious competition, she flamed out. Not a single vote. She called Joe Biden a racist and then joined his ticket. Joe got lucky because of COVID, brought her along for the ride, and then the two of them wrecked the country. Joe made her border czar. She never showed up to work. Death and destruction everywhere. He put her in charge of that voting bill, failed, thank God. He sent her to Europe to warn Russia not to invade Ukraine. Putin laughed and invaded the same week. She's not respected overseas. She's not respected on the left. A year ago, they tried to kick her off the ticket. She's not even respected by her own staff. They've all quit. She's not respected because she's an incompetent San Francisco socialist whose administration almost got Trump assassinated. Let 10 million foreigners pour into the country and spent so much money on boondoggles that inflation raged and crushed your wages. USA Today said Kamala's biggest accomplishment as vice president was visiting an abortion clinic. When he was VP, Al Gore invented the internet, okay? Now, if they install this woman into the White House, the military-industrial complex is going to control her. We'll be at war with Russia before you know it. Lobbyists are already licking their chops. They can't wait to grease the Harris administration. It's like taking candy from a baby. This is a frivolous fraud who hasn't solved a single problem, gotten on top from handouts, never lifting a finger to help the American people. She's only there to help herself. America can't afford Kamala Harris. This is not
saying, listen,
That's it.
know who you're
That's
voting
good.
for,
That's it.
but just voting on the
Yeah,
basis of
yeah, you can stop it there. Yeah, cool.
Hey, listen, what did y'all think about that one? Now, the reason why I put it there, and before everybody gets excited that it was a white man bringing her down, I got a sister coming up, said pretty much a lot of the same thing. All right. But what do y'all really think about it? I wanted to, in context, she said a lot of things out of her own mouth, but if you put it in context, maybe you give her out here and there. But I think some of those things were straightforward. We kind of get a feel for what she stands for. And none of the things that my man said is something I would want to vote for, me personally. But everybody's going to vote their own way. So I wanted to give her a fair shot from her own mouth on the kind of things she's thinking about. And even though she's flip-flopping, if she gets in office, all the things she truly wants to do is what she's going to do, right? That's how it is. That's why black people get duped every time. They tell us they're going to give us stuff, but once they get in office, they don't need it, right? We served our purpose, So I'm saying, and any comments from you gentlemen on that? What did you think about her ghetto point of view?
Oh, yeah, I mean, we can all have our issues with some of the commentators at Fox because some of those guys are not the most balanced when it comes to news coverage, and we understand that. But I mean, he didn't say anything that is not, like you said, easy to see for yourself. So it kind of makes it worse that it's a person from Fox News because you're usually supposed to be able to dismiss what they say sometimes, like they lean too much on the Republicans. You know they're gonna lean on that side, but they're saying stuff that's genuine at this point. It's so bad that even the mainstream, the far right pundits sound reasonable. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's so bad now that even the far right pundits sound reasonable when talking about her, and nothing they're saying it sounds far fetched at all. The only thing I would push back against is she was her and Joe was built so much of their career on actually locking people up that I don't know if she would release a lot of people. I actually think she would lock more people up and be like a super law and order president. I think that she would have so much liberal laws that then they would have to then reverse, and she would have to get back on her law and order stuff that she was on in California and literally be locking parents up for truancy, I think she would go that extreme again and she would justify it. So that would be my only pushback. I don't think she would let everybody out unless she would go to the technology and having everybody be monitored in their homes and having the cameras in their homes, which is eventually what they want to go to. I don't know if they have it ready to do it under her administration. But yeah, everything else he said, I actually kind of agree with. But the only thing with the lockups, I don't see her letting 1 million people out. I actually see her locking more people up.
Right. That certainly goes against some of the stuff in California. What you got, Trey, for?
I mean, in regards to the prisoner situation, well, I just know years ago in 2009, in one state, in the state of Illinois, they released 40,000 criminals. I don't know if they did that across the country, but we've seen an influx of situations happen in places that you would never thought would really happen and rise to the level that it's leveled over the last 20 years. You look at the southern states and cities, crime rate has actually gone up. But now over the last 3 or 4 years, I think more brothers are sort of waking up to a sense, and crime has actually gone down. Violent crimes amongst us, each other, So I just think right now, and I'll say this until I leave this earth, no white man is going to allow a woman to tell him what to do. No white man is going to allow a sister to tell him what to do. It may be sound all fun and games on the outside, rah, 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 but when they get to that pillow talk, and remember, she chose to be a stepmama. Sisters don't even want brothers with kids. F them damn kids. So she's going to play right in. Just in her nomination, she called 2 people that have some of our worst representation. She didn't talk to the lawyers and the doctors and the people that put us in a great light. She went straight to the Sexy Reds and the Megan Thee Stallion. And I think that's where sisters are going to fail themselves. Sisters are going to fail themselves. They're going to vote for her don't care about her agenda because she identifies as the big nose, big lip sister that they want her to believe, they want her to be. And she's going to cut all of these resources right in front of them. She's going to cut them and they don't see it coming. It's going to be more situations with the young lady whose life was taken, unfortunately, because a lot of women just won't have the protection. They're not going to get those housing benefits. All of that stuff is changing. And I don't think we see it. I'm telling you, it's this. And listen, inflation is because we fighting two fronts. Normally, the country would go into these factories and generate these products for the war. Today, nah. They can ready to take all your resources and send them right to fight because how many black people 30, 35 and under are going to fight for America if they ain't being trained in America? So it's coming.
All right, Trey, man, what's going on, man?
What's good with y'all?
What's up, brother?
Salute. Can I ask Trey a question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you see this young generation draft dodging, a la like bringing back that energy?
Hell yeah, I'm already thinking of it to stash my son. You goddamn right. Listen, and I am one of the firm believers that everybody should have to serve in the military, male or female. You should have to do at least 2 to 4 years, right?
I agree.
I'm a firm believer in that. I am not, however, a firm believer for you to institute an action that you haven't had since the 70s, because you can't have a civil conversation with a dictator in another country. So instead, what you do is you reactivate the draft, because there's quite a potential that World War III is coming.
That's right.
There's a very good potential that that's going to happen. And so now you want to send my son, you want to send Trey Ferguson, want to send y'all, you want to send their sons to go fight a war that, for one, ain't got shit to do with us. Let's start there. But number two, you could have ended this by simply cutting off the tap. You could have just turned the water off and said, we're not giving y'all no more money. You're on your own. You either get along with Russia or you don't. And as far as the Hamas and the other one goes, stop picking fights with bullies. Because every bully you can't beat up. There are some bullies that will whoop your ass, i.e. Israel. Yeah. So stop picking fights, because Hamas picked a fight, and then now you want to cry and run home and say they beat me up. Yeah, because you started it. Yeah. So yeah. I absolutely, Ghetto. I absolutely see people stashing. Listen, my son's mama is from the Caribbean. We are already having a conversation about where to put him so that he don't get, I don't know, I ain't got no son. I don't know what you're talking about. He ain't here. He in another country. And we're going to keep him there until this thing is over with. It's utterly ridiculous.
Yeah. No, listen, the first thing you said is that everybody, if there's going to be a mandatory draft, everybody should participate. And here's why, right? You can't tell me that Kamala Harris could be president of the United States, but women shouldn't have full responsibility like every other citizen and sign up and be mandatorily drafted. Now, if you have a company to field a company, a battalion or a company, the logistics footprint will be huge to get that out into the field. Even if you put women conscripted to working as part of the logisticians to get all that shit done, which is something they probably would be good at. They don't have to be on the front lines, but they should do 4 or 5 years during the war to make sure all of those things there, the inventories, all that shit is right. So they don't have to be on the front line. There's so much work behind the scenes to get a battalion out there, to get a company out there. They'll have something to do mandatorily, and this way you could free up men, if we were in a just war, to actually be fighters. Right now, I hear women are good snipers, but that's another story. But anyhow, I just think that women have been getting away with actually more rights than men for too long. You cannot want to be president and not want to be able to sign up for selective service. I think that's patently unfair, on the surface of it. Okay, so anyway, that's that. If somebody up, KP, you still up there? No, I thought somebody else was still on the line. But anyway, listen.
And I'm glad you played that video, though, because I don't think we understand just how radical this woman is. You can say as much as you want about Trump, but a lot of her ideas are so far in the stratosphere, it's unreal.
They said
It's
she
unreal.
was
And
the
let me tell you
most
something.
left wing by
America's
her
the only
votes.
place. America's the only place where people can come here illegally and get compensated for being here illegally.
Absolutely. It's crazy.
Tell me what country you can go to where you show up, and I'm not talking about political asylum. You go
Right.
to another country. Tell me any country you can show up at their border. They will take you in. They will house you. They will give you money. Tell me which country.
None. Hey, did you see the receipt with the lady with the $13,000
$13K.
food stamps and a $4,000 in the bank? Shit, man! And with all our veterans sleeping on the street in California, I mean, come on.
Well, they ain't sleeping on the street no more because it's illegal. They sleeping.
And that's right. That's right. They're locking you up, man. Well, putting you somewhere.
So it's not illegal to come into this country and be compensated, but it is, however, illegal to serve this country and not be able to make it and live on the street and then get swept up and now you're going to prison. So that just tells me that they need more license plate makers. Is what I'm getting. That their prison system isn't full enough. So they came up with this grandiose idea that we're gonna start sweeping up homeless people.
That's right.
It's utterly ridiculous. She's so proud of California. California is one of the worst states in the fucking country.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. And guess what? They're sending them to private prisons.
Oh.
That's the deal, man.
So Michael Jordan
money.
can get more money because he
make money off of these guys. Yeah. You know, so it's the system is corrupt all the way around. But I got one more video with the sister from Atlanta, and she goes in on it, man. She goes in. So anybody worried about the white man talking about Harris, we got a sister, a modern day sister, that you wouldn't think that what's coming out of her mouth kind of belies the way she looks and the way she moves. But she's pretty damn good. So whenever you're ready, BMU, let's throw that last video on with our girl Michaela Montgomery. If you're back there, it might take some time. Anyhow, so yeah, she is something else. Now Trump met her in a Chick-fil-A. From what I understand, she might have set it up for him to come to that Chick-fil-A. And she gave him a hug and she got a lot of notoriety. And somehow, one thing led to another. Now she's on a Trump rally stage, man.
Yeah, but be clear, Trump went for the Polynesian sauce. Okay, he didn't go for her.
No. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, what I'm saying is, it was kind of organic, you know. So I mean, we'll see. I don't know what's happening. BMU, you back there? Yeah, I'm looking in the back chat. I don't see anything.
Somebody said we got 350 million people here, a whole bunch of guns. Nobody's going to invade here. Did they invade it on 9/11? Did they storm the beaches on 9/11? Or did they find a more clever way to cause chaos in this country? Y'all better wake up.
All right. So, I'm my man. I guess he might take a little break. So, whenever he comes back,
y'all see how comfortable men have made it for women. Even salute to all the soldiers. If you ain't went to the military, shut your ass up when it comes talking about protecting the world. I don't give a damn what you talking about. Take your ass out there, put on a rucksack, get you 20 rounds of ammo, and duck.
They won't make it through basic, Trey.
I understand.
They won't make it through boot camp.
You're right. But the thing is this. Listen, I don't know what people see in America. Listen, America could be the greatest country in the world. However, it continues to shut the black man out. If America does not change its mindset towards the black man, America, listen.
Well, we're
only 2 generations away, man. Me and Trey, we the last fighting generation. The generation X, everybody else go with
it. When you let's examine what you're saying. What is America supposed to do for us that we can't do for ourselves?
Nothing. That's why I don't understand this whole, what is he going to do? What is this administration going to do? All these administrations are supposed to do is make sure that the playing fields are fair. That's their only responsibility. What you do with it from there, that's on you. See, but the problem with us in our community is that we think that fair is what somebody gives us. That's not fairness. Fairness is opportunity. The opportunity is what's fair. And what you do with that opportunity, that is on you.
Exactly.
And the problem is that a lot of people don't know what the hell to do with opportunity. Opportunity smack them right in the face every day. They don't know what to do with it.
Well, you
they're waiting for somebody to
you don't agree with
hand them something.
No, I'm agreeing with them 1,000%.
Okay.
They avoid the opportunity, then they blame mama and daddy and everybody else because they didn't take advantage of it. That's what we see. So fuck them. Take advantage of it. It's coming.
So BMU, you back there yet, man? I don't know. I mean, somebody left me on my own, so you might have did something. Anyway, yeah, I just think that it's going to be a long 4 months, man. You know, and I think that little bump that Kamala Harris got is starting to dissipate. It's starting to dissipate as more and more different people are starting to say, wait a minute, you know what? It's, for her, what she's saying is all about identity politics. And nobody's pressing her on anything other than, and then here's my biggest issue also. She wants to be president. So you can't try to protect her from people coming at her in any old kind of way. How are you going to be dealing with some of the most ruthless leaders? And, oh, he talked about me, I'm a woman, and he talked about me. I don't want to hear none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here. They say nobody got attacked more. Listen, they say anything they want about Trump. His personality, his characteristics, everything, you know, he ain't crying about, you know, I'm a man, you know, you ain't supposed to say that. So if we talk about your skin color, Kamala, just take that shit, right? You ain't supposed to be worrying about that. We talk about
me. Oh, we talked hella shit about Trump when he said that dumb shit about, oh, I just got a small loan of $1 million from my dad. He's looking around like a small loan. What are you talking about?
People don't have no problem.
Bro, I have said some of the worst shit about Trump.
Yeah.
Because I don't like his character.
Right.
I think he's honestly, I think deep down inside, he's a piece of shit personally. I really do. However, that has nothing to do with his policy and the things that he wants to do in this country. I agree with him to having transgender females not compete with biological females. I agree with that. I agree with his immigration policy that anybody and everybody can't just bring your ass into the country. I agree with that. I agree with him wanting to tariff imports and exports that's coming into this country. All this shit that's saying made in Taiwan and made in China, but they ain't paying no money over here. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm sorry.
And a lot of people do, you know, and so I'm just saying, you know, that's why it's going to be interesting. I think this whole thing about him being a convicted felon because he wrote a bad check and shit like that, I don't think anybody really cares about that. You know, I mean, come on. You know, he got some box and he wanted to cover the shit up like every other guy who cheats on his wife.
But they have the power. Our Payne changed the law.
Yeah.
Change it. If you don't want convicted felons to be able to be president or run for president, change the law.
Yeah, change the law. Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. Did you notice that none of these senators and congressmen are so eager to change that law? Because guess what? It could be them.
That's right.
It could be them.
That's right.
So they like, no. If I get convicted, I still want the opportunity to run for president.
Well, how many of those guys are really
Republican?
Yeah, I know it's a bipartisan now. I mean, if we shine the light on most of those guys, we'll find dirt.
On every single politician.
Yeah, we'll find some serious dirt, man.
You gotta remember, all these dudes now, they were kids doing Jim Crow. They was raising the flag and going out there with their daddies and granddaddies. What you talking about? They went from the overalls to the suits. They got the same mindset. This is generational. We're not talking 20, 30 years. We're talking all of our lives, all of our parents' lives, and people we claim that we supposed to be connected to. We don't know shit about what they went through. This shit is weird as hell.
Yeah, so BMU, you back there yet? I don't know. I mean, he might have started. I got that last video, but I guess I have to wait for him. I don't know what he's doing. Anyway, so what else is going on, gentlemen?
Hey, give me 2 minutes.
All right, we got it. Great, thank you.
But to your point, RP, when we talk about dirty politicians, you're gonna find the majority of them are dirty. Remember I told you guys to pay attention to Nancy Pelosi after Trump got his assassination attempt. Remember I said watch Nancy Pelosi and watch when she starts offloading in the stock market. Did anybody find it ironic that she started getting rid of a whole bunch of shares and stocks, and suddenly the market's down $2.7 trillion? Nobody finds that. Nobody thinks that's crazy that she knew to get rid of this stuff before it was going to start to tank. She was the last couple of weeks. I said maybe a day after his assassination attempt. I said, watch her. She's finna do some crazy shit because she obviously is inside. She's an insider trader. She knows what's going on, right? And she started offloading her shares of this company, started offloading her shares of that company, and now I've been paying. I'm in the stock market. The last week and a half has been hell. Hell. Nothing but red numbers for the last week and a half. How did she know to get rid of all this stuff?
That's right.
Coincidence.
Warren Buffett sold a lot of his stuff too.
Yeah,
he
lost
selling
1,000 points today. Dow Jones lost 1,000 points today.
I did the numbers though off his top. It's only, it's quickly, but it's only like I say only about 8% right now in the Dow down. So I think when we get into 15% range, then I call that a collapse. So right now, the market was ready to consolidate anyway. It was on fire, man. It was on fire. People got to take profits. But that has a snowball effect. Plus that with inflation and recession and all that shit. I think we're in a recession, man. But did y'all see that one? Did y'all see that one guy who had a shopping list that was 2 years old? So his shopping list had like 40 items in it, right? Man, and it was like $100-something 4 years ago or 3 years ago, whatever it is, and it's $400 now for the same item. The whole Biden administration costs him $300 a shopping. I mean, that's crazy. That is for the same items. I don't see how people could do it. I really.
Did you see they tried to blame that on Trump? Because there is some carryover, right? There is some carryover from the last president to the next, but it's typically about 18 to 24 months of carryover. Like once that presidential administration gets into their third year, that's all them.
But I think it's even more generous when you say I think it's like maybe a year, but you're right. It could be a little bit more carryover. But remember now, the Democrats had the House, the Senate, and the presidency for the first 2 years of the Biden administration. So they made a lot of. They had slim in the Senate, but they had that. But you're right. Even if we use that metric, they can't put this on. They can't put this on Trump, man. They really can't. So I don't know.
Where is Biden? Anybody know where he is? He hiding right now.
He said COVID more than anybody I know. He said COVID about 4 or 5.
He's good, man. He's persona non grata, man. He's incognito, man. They should have.
This administration, what they really failed to do, and where I draw the line with Kamala is that the 25th Amendment wasn't invoked 2 years ago. And it should have been invoked 2 years ago when we started to realize that his cognitive abilities were declining. And it was obvious that if he could not run for re-election, he cannot continue to run the country. That's obvious to me. So how is it that this man is still president? So that tells me that you're not concerned with doing what's best for the country. And you're not concerned about what's doing best for American people. You're concerned about what's doing best for you. And what's best for you is for you to become the first female president. And that's why you've allowed this to go on. It's ridiculous. Once the first time he fell off the bike, I'd have been like, we need to start paying attention. And then he fell up the stairs, getting on Air Force One twice, remember? Yeah. And then he fell on the stage at the Air Force Academy graduation.
Oh, yeah, it was a hard one, too. That was a hard one.
At some point in time, somebody should say we should probably start looking into the 25th Amendment. For those of y'all who don't know, the 25th Amendment allows Congress to basically strip the president of his powers and give them to the vice president based on his inability to do his job, essentially.
And the vice president has to approve that as well, though. And
but it's up to Congress, though.
I know. Yeah, but she's got to be on board. She might not be able to put herself in, but they have to be on board. So it's got to be a collaboration. And either they told her that wouldn't be a good idea for some reason, and because I think she would have been better off if she had 2 years as president, as an incumbent, than not with the country going to shit, right? So yeah, people would have been hating their ass by the time we got here. So they said, let's try to get build this momentum in the last 4 months to see if we can ride the wave of you just being a black woman or Asian woman, whatever you call yourself. And yeah, that's it. Let me see what he got here.
She has to come and talk to the black men of America. She has to.
Yeah, but what's she gonna say though, Trey? What's she gonna say?
I mean, listen, only thing I'm saying, give the young brothers a first shot at these spaces. Allow these young brothers to gain these skills that can make America solid. Hell, brothers don't want to leave America. They want to be able to build to that shit. I need to see some niggas up on some roofs, putting some foundations and putting some houses. I need to see some black people plumbing. I need to see some brothers being some engineers tightening up these goddamn broken down bridges. That's what I need to see. It's too many young brothers ain't doing shit. And talking amongst each other don't get nothing moved.
Nobody's going to argue that. I'm not going to argue that with you.
She got to talk to us, Payne. That's
it. Yeah, I know, and I agree with you, but what's she going to say, man? I mean, what's she's going to say that we're going to believe?
Well, give us an opportunity. Put that shit on the pen and paper. She ain't got to say nothing. Just show up with your little suit on, look pretty, and then all the brothers take pictures with you after you get them in those positions. Is all I'm saying, brother. Our brothers ain't going to college. Ain't that many trucking. They doing the trucking industry bad. But America's still falling apart. So allow the brothers to get in this space, especially while they're young. These niggas will defend America, man, with everything. We can't go 25 years, brothers still being on the bottom, women still being able to twerk everywhere, spending up all the kids' college funds, fuck them damn dumbass kids. Brothers still trying to be a good daddy. Ain't no laws changing because the sister's going to get that little money and trick it off. Brothers want a place, and I think if she doesn't do that, she's going to lose, and they gonna blame it on the black man.
Yeah.
No. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I just wanted to piggyback because, excuse me, that's exactly right what Trey Ferg is saying, and I know you had alluded to it earlier. But what would she say, right? And I know Lost in Translation brought up the fact that there is a study being done to see what she wants to do for black men and sons, and I find it so funny because if anybody knows the history with LBJ and the Moynihan report, so LBJ had the Moynihan report done, then goes against the Moynihan report to do the welfare.
Right.
But the Moynihan report said you need to give these men jobs. Men need to be able to strut their stuff. Their sons won't respect them. The children in the community can't look up to them. These men need to be able to show their braggadociousness. And way they do that by fixing them bridges, by being in them sewers, by being the electricians, by being the plumbers, like Trey Ferg said, by being on them roofs. When people see the men of their community being able to keep the community in pristine condition and be able to create commerce and wealth and bring those jobs to the community, and then also have skills that they can now teach their children so their children can be entrepreneurs and be the next generation of people who can then do the same thing over and over and over, you allow those people to be extremely self-sufficient, and you stop the women from being able to be in control. And they said all of this in the Moynihan report. But then you know what they ended it with? Every other group gets to strut their stuff, but not them sassy niggas. Those men get lynched. That's literally so they knew back then we needed the jobs and the skills to be able to fix all of this. But they said, this report is great, but we just gonna give them welfare.
Yeah, so I touched upon that when you might not have been here. And, you're right. So I always come back to this. Kamala Harris ain't thinking about what you just said, Trey Ferg, and there's nothing that she could say now that we could believe. There's nothing you can say. All the Democrats tell us shit before the elections, man. They could promise the world, but once they get in, all that shit takes the back. But I mean, that's the okie doke. That's a banana in the tailpipe. I mean, listen, she don't have nothing for us. Now, that report that Lit put down there, I think that was for California when she was AG or something like that. I don't know if it was something, was that something that was national, or that was just something?
I'm not sure. I have to double check the link he shared, but I'm not sure if it was a national report. It might have just been a Cali-based report.
I thought it was California, but I didn't read it either, man. I missed the link. I should have got that. So all I'm just trying to say is there's nothing she could say that you could believe. I mean, you could look at her and tell her she's going to lie, man. As soon as she gets in office, she's going to do what she wants to do. And, a person who went all the way over to Africa to talk to the people over there, and all she could talk about was, how come you don't accept, the alphabet community? with no trade, no nothing. Just how come you got your laws are against the alphabet community? You need to change your laws, or else we're gonna not do business with you. That was her whole thing. She was ambassador for the alphabet.
Again, the destruction of the black male.
We can't. But what I'm trying to tell you, Trey, we can't. We don't need. I think like you're saying, we have to find a different avenue to get what you're saying done. Yeah. Like you're doing some stuff yourself, right? But
Payne, think about this. Even in your time, my father was a little older than you.
Right.
He was allowed to have. He was a young man in America. If you can't, and it starts to really take effect in your mid-30s. If you haven't put yourself in a position to have some type of skill set or some type of skill, even on a level that you can present to just your people, eventually, as you turn 40, 45, that shit catches up with you.
Teach.
That's all I'm saying.
And I agree with you.
No, I'm just saying. I've been in the schools. I've seen young brothers, they talk. Unemployment rates are high, specifically to black males in these communities. These brothers need to be. Listen, if I wouldn't give a damn if y'all went out there and gave everybody a pickaxe and a shovel and said, "Okay, clean this shit. We're gonna pay you. This is where y'all live, and each time we're gonna train you some more how to fix your falling down house apart." That shit speaks volumes when a man is in his 30s and 40s, man.
Listen, I hear what you're saying, but the reason why it's just not happening is on purpose.
Well.
It's not an accident. That's what I'm saying. We can't ask the Democrats to do that for us because they would have been doing it if they wanted it.
Because
their thing is to break families up, destroy Christianity, right? Most of the stuff they afford is pretty demonic, man. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see that party. I'm not saying the Republicans will be any better either, but their policies are at least more conservative. I said that all we need, like Trey said, and I've been saying before, all we need is a clear path to opportunity. That's it. That's what everybody needs. But life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, opportunity, and that's what we're looking for. Right? So we've had 50, 60 years of Democrats. Where's the opportunity, man? For men. For men. It's expressly taken away. And so we got to go get it back. And for me, the first step is for us to make sure our votes are low enough for those bastards to lose every swing state. That's what I'm looking at, and I want them to blame it on black men. I don't want them to come back and say, yeah, you guys didn't show up. And we'll say, goddamn right, we didn't show up. And you want our votes back? We want some legislation passed before we give you our votes again. Do something first, and then we'll vote for you again. We ain't taking no more of your goddamn promises.
That's right.
And here's what we need.
The stripper claps her cheeks before we put the money in the G-string. Right?
That's right.
Tell me I'm wrong.
That's right, man. Shit, man. You dance first, bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want you to do. Shit, man. I'm tired of waiting. Forget all the promises. How many broken promises we want to give these guys?
Yeah, if they want to blame somebody, they can blame their predecessors. Blame the people, blame the administrations that came before you that said we'll do this and we'll do that. And they didn't do anything. So no, we're gonna take the wait and see approach. And I feel the same way for the Republican Party. You're not about to this is politicians in America. Listen, they all friends anyway. And they all go out to dinner after it's all said and done anyway. You ain't fooling me. I know how this works. The same way judges and lawyers eat dinner together too. Right, and play golf together. I just got finished playing golf today. Look, they all play golf together. You ain't fooling me. So we need to start seeing something in action before you do anything. And I'm serious. While I agree with Trump and his policies, I am closer now to leaning to not voting at all because I don't like what's going on. And I said it before, I'm embarrassed to be an American. This is embarrassing. People taking pop shots at the presidential candidates. We got a candidate that did not take part in the democratic process. She was just sort of thrown in there, and the Democratic registered voters didn't get an opportunity to choose who they wanted. That's not American. That's not how we do things. So this whole thing is embarrassing. And here's the part that kills me: if she is elected president, we're talking about a woman that nobody ever wanted to be in that position.
Right.
They just put her in there until it was voted on. And the only reason why, let's be real with it, most of the people are only voting against Trump simply because you don't like him. You're not necessarily that you don't like his policies. You just don't like him.
That's right.
Teach.
Right.
Ain't he one of the only few people in those positions that really do business with black people? I mean,
he make money. He about making money.
Yeah, he's not a. I don't think he's a good businessman, but hell, he got Trump Towers in Russia, China, all the countries that America don't get along with, and he's giving. Listen, and he's giving some guys some chance. You know, and he's an asshole. Like you say, he's an asshole, a millionaire. He's not afraid to let you know what he does. Most of them just sneak around you and play that bullshit.
Yeah.
So listen, right now, I think everything is up in the air. She's going to run off the LGBTQ resources, the immigrants, all that bullshit. And sisters don't see it coming. She coming for all the shit y'all got. Y'all Section 8, all that shit. Your free lunch vouchers. They already cutting bus transportation to public schools. So y'all dumbass kids, y'all gonna have to teach them how to read yourself. And you know y'all get impatient and shit. Y'all ain't got time.
Some of them barely read themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I was telling, it's one of the things I didn't say, about when the women chose welfare over the man. You guys might not remember this. They had a show with Diane Carroll called Claudine. That
Claudine is my movie, man.
Claudine with James Earl Jones, and she has 6 kids. In the show, she was a baby mama way back in the 70s. 6 kids, 2 husbands. So that one of those husbands was a step baby daddy, right? And then I don't know whether she had divorce or whatever happened to them. So James Earl Jones used to, sneak in, bang her out, right? But he had to leave before the welfare assessor came. She had to make sure everything was good. They had to hide his shoes and all that shit.
All the different electronics. Yep.
Yeah, I said, man, I think they did. I think that was a mistake getting through the censors, right? Because that was really how it was, and none of our black politicians ever thought to say this is a horrible way for black families to live, where you have to sneak. You can't have a boyfriend. As soon as the guy gets married, then you lose all your benefits. And women they said, listen, man, you know what, man, you only making $2 an hour more than my welfare check, man. Why I gotta put up with you when I can get some free money and just live in a little bit of misery? I can sell some box for the difference.
The Democratic Party thinks that they're slick. So they allow the immigrants to come over here and then pay them because that's the same sort of logic, the same thing they really did to black people, if you think about it.
Right.
It's the same play they ran on the women in these neighborhoods. If they make them more dependent on us, we'll have their vote for the next 100 years.
That's right.
Somebody said
exactly.
That. So if they allow these immigrants to come in and then make them solely dependent on the government, then they'll be more inclined to vote Democrat once they give them voting powers. And I just saw there's a police force of like immigrants now. Like they got a whole police unit full of immigrants. It's in California, of course. Where else? Tell you, California's a cesspool. It's a shithole, man. I almost wanted to live out there. My sister lives in LA. I thought it'd be cool to, be in the sun and be out there in LA. I went out there one time and said, oh, hell no, I'm not coming out here. Between all the liberals and the trash, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Well, that Chevron just left California.
Mm-hmm.
They're losing they're losing corporations like, Tesla.
And the income tax is ridiculous.
Right. So I guess I don't know what happened to that last one, man.
He said give him 5 more minutes.
Yeah, I know. That's like 20 minutes ago.
He is a black man, so his 5 minutes could be different. Be different. 5 minutes.
You know what I'm saying? Oh man, Anyway, so it'll be worth the wait because I think the system was really on point. But here we are, man. I think that I never really looked at elections as being as important as this one. And unfortunately, we only have the candidates that we have to vote for. I was going to do a protest vote. I have to say this. I almost don't even want to admit it. I was going to do a protest vote. I can't say it out loud and shit. I don't I get maligned enough as it is. I can't
Nah,
volunteer.
you gotta say it now.
I can't volunteer. I was gonna do a protest vote and give my vote to Cornel West. You know, I was just gonna vote for him. But when he put the lesbian on his team, I said, that's it, man. Because that's just another ultra liberal and shit like that. I can't vote for women who don't like men. You know, I can't vote for anybody. If you don't like men, why would I want to vote for you? You know, I mean, that's just me. Because I think, you know, this is crazy. I just think if you don't like men, you got a fundamental issue with men. You know, so I can't vote for that shit. You know, you free to do what you want, but you know, I mean, I'm not gonna give you my vote. You look at me with disdain and shit. Nah, you know, no.
Do you know how many black men there are in Biden's cabinet right now?
Shit, what?
Probably I don't know. 2?
1, 2, yeah, that's it.
You know how many black men there
I mean,
are?
that's the whole Democrat.
Several.
Well, let's put it this way. You know what? If you look at the Democrats, if they're going to have a minority, it's either a black woman or somebody else. It's not a black man. How many black men did they promote general across the whole tickets? None. I was surprised that Jeffries became the junior Speaker of the House.
Yeah, the minority.
I was shocked
too.
Yeah, and then I kind of wanted to like him until he started talking. I said, "Oh no, this guy's he's just another party machine. There's nothing in it for us." Like I asked everybody, what has the Congressional Black Caucus done for anybody?
They got you some book bags.
What?
They do have some book bags.
They got merch.
I was gonna say they give out a mean pencil, don't they? They give out some mean.
They got some merch. You know what I'm saying?
You get some back to school books. Listen, me and my wife had this running joke. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of you niggas. We voting. I mean, when that census come back through here, we're gonna be Caucasian or other. I'm tired of black folk. Y'all stressing me the hell out. I'm trying to live out this second part of my life. Stress free. I got damn. Hey, listen, man. Listen, this is a very scary time, man. You know, some things that were talked about when I was younger, I never thought it would really be to this extent. But here I am now. Then went through everything America said do. Generation X pretty much tried to do it. Take your ass to the military. Okay. Go to college. Okay. Work. Okay. Did all that. Now they saying that our resources are very limited. We can't get no health care. Motherfuckers can't afford to buy homes still. After you done put in all this time. In my neighborhood, white folk buy home every day.
Well, look, you said something. You jogged my memory. You know, we have this whole issue going on whether Kamala Harris is black or Asian. How many things have you guys signed that says what's your race? Records for records for a job, records for this or that. You know, he said, what race are you, right? And I'm really surprised that nobody has come up with a piece of paper where she had to actually answer that question somewhere. I mean, back in her past, because a lot of Indians put down Caucasian.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be not, I mean, and the fact that nobody has uncovered that is a fix.
Oh, just give it some time.
You know, I mean,
wait on it. See, here's the thing. This is like a gumbo pot. You don't put everything in. You gotta let a little bit simmer, let it get hot, then you put a little bit. Just wait.
You gotta have a truck card.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. There's no doubt in my mind, Chunk people working on that
mess
right
around, pull that out at the debate.
It happened to Hillary Clinton. It happened to Hillary Clinton, and we dismissed her over some text messages. That was some bullshit.
That's what I'm saying, because she's, you know, just subconsciously or unconsciously, we filled out that form thousands of times. I mean, almost for everything, you got to say what you are, right? And at one point, they didn't even have the option of just saying other. They have that now. So she's got some shit out there, and it'll just put, you know, because look, Trump wasn't wrong what he said when he was at that black conference. They asked him a question. He said, "Oh, she's black now? I thought she was Indian." And then he said,
what a wasted opportunity.
Yes, it was.
What a wasted
Yes, it
opportunity.
was.
That was, to me, that was an opportunity for them to grill Trump on
On real
what are you
policy.
going to
Come
do?
on.
What you going to do for the black community? And just the black community alone. We don't want to hear nothing else about nobody else. That was an opportunity to get knee deep in his ass about
gritty.
yeah. And they was too busy trying to get a viral
emotional.
moment out of it.
Come
And
on.
And I'm like, you got this man sitting less than 10 feet away from you. He's agreed to come here.
Yeah,
and y'all
in the
talking
lion's
about
den.
y'all talking about bullshit right now.
Right.
In the lion's den.
Where was the man that asking those questions? And these things are really be set up like that. Where was the man that? Because, like you said, a brother would have asked him that question. What the hell you gonna do for? Sisters, they weren't about. Well, you said she was rich, and that's not important when it comes to these politics. What the hell are they gonna do for you and your slow ass kids?
But just think how nasty. Just think how nasty the chick was. She didn't. The guy. She would say, "Listen, Mr. President, how are you from almost surviving being shot? Are you okay now? Blah blah blah." She could have just said, she just. That's the kind of woman who wants to be president. They don't have the temperament for that kind of shit, man. They just, I did a show here on BMU. I mean, women ready and have the temperament to be leaders. And she with all her training, with everything she's learned, all she could do was just attack the man. I got him, I want flesh. I want to, my man. See, that's why people like Trump. He stepped right into the lion's den. And he, as far as I'm concerned,
he brought a flamethrower with him. Because the answers he gave, I was like, he ain't backing down from y'all.
No.
He not backing down from y'all. And the whole thing about race, look, at the end of the day, here's the thing. As a black man, I'm perfectly okay if the black people say, listen, we sitting this one out. And we as a collective unit, we're gonna come together as a party. And we're going to start demanding that people do things for our community. And until they do that, we're not going to. I would be willing to get with that. But here's the thing: there has to be an understanding that they will still have an election without us. You have to get that through. I think there's a lot of black people that think, well, we don't vote, then the whole show stops. No, it don't. It doesn't stop. They will continue to keep going along with or without us. You have every right to vote. You have every right not to vote. But I don't want you to think that just because you're not voting, that this show gonna stop, because it's not. They will elect a new president in November, and that new president will take office in January of 2025. It's always been that way. It will always continue to be that way. But if we are going to take a stand as a black community and say, listen, we don't care who you elect, we're not going to be a part of it. Now, I can get with that. I can get with that and say, I don't give a damn what y'all do. We don't care what y'all do. We didn't put him in there. We didn't help him. Now we got something to stand on. So when he does go out here and do some bullshit, we can say, we never put you here. We never wanted you here.
Not our president.
Matter of fact, you're not our president.
There you go.
Because we didn't vote for you. We didn't vote for you. But as long as you're going to continue to have, some black people going to vote for Kamala, some black people going to vote for Trump. Stop asking, well, what is either party? Neither one of them going to do shit for us.
That's right.
Let's be very clear about that. Neither party going to do shit for us unless it helps their agenda. Kamala is very clear. She said it loud and proud. I'm not going to do anything just for the black people. She said it very clear.
And then I had a clip.
So this idea that things are going to change simply because you're picking and choosing, that's not how it works. But if you want to sit this one out, I'm with that. But let's do it as a unit. We're military guys up here. We know what that means. If we're going to sit out, that means that they're going to attack your weakest link. We know that. Who's the weakest link? All right, we got to get that weakest link ready because they're coming after him.
Right.
We know that. So if we're going to sit it out, let's sit it out. But let's not have that understanding that, this is going to stop the show. It's not going to stop the show.
No, it's not. Well, the only thing we can get is peace. See, for me, success will be peace of mind seeing a black male vote down to 50 or 40%.
He said it's ready, though.
All right. Oh, man, great, man. Let's roll, man. Let's roll. So we're going to, everybody take a look at our system, man. This, when you're ready, go ahead and fire it up, BMU.
She came with that Polynesian sauce. She brought something to the convention, the rally with it.
I'm so happy you all came out to see me. So, my name is Michaela Montgomery. A lot of you guys know me as the girl from Chick-fil-A, but I am so much more than that. Not only do I serve as the CEO of Conserve the Culture, I am also the state director for Blexit down here in Georgia. I'm a Fulton County coordinator for America First Works, and I'm also launching a podcast on the Patriots Prayer Network, so put some respect on my name. Now, why don't we jump right into it? See, as a young single mother, I can tell y'all that rent is too damn high. I can tell you that as a young black voter, groceries are too damn high. And as an American citizen, period, seniors like my parents should never have to choose between medicine or food. It should never be the quality of life versus the quantity of life. And I don't want to hear, oh, but we capped the price of insulin and lowered the price of all these medicines. Yeah, but you raised the price of everything else, so it's about time to start telling the truth to Americans and let them know exactly what they're signing up for if they want to vote for Kamala Harris. We need to vote based on facts and not feelings. See, under Harris and Biden, the average Georgia household is losing $1,060 per month, and inflation is at 21.4%. And due to the war on energy, average gas prices have reached record highs for the state. We also did a poll, and 80% of us black Americans are not happy with the current state of the economy, so I'm gonna need 80% of y'all to vote accordingly in November. They love me, they really love me.
Just put the head, man.
The left wants you to get in your feelings about things that have been said, but I want you guys to pay attention to what has been done. They don't want to talk policy. They just want to use propaganda to steal your vote. The left is trying to tout this woman as a savior for the black community, but all she's done is hurt the black community since she came into the game. See, the first step in destroying the black community is to dismantle the black family. So aside from her record as a prosecutor, why don't we ask Mrs. Willie Brown if Kamala Harris cares about black families? I wonder if Mrs. Willie Brown, a black woman, is also with her. A few days ago, President Trump said he didn't know Vice President Harris was a black woman. I'm trying to figure out what all the outrage is about because she's only black when it's time to get elected. Did I lie? The same black people who are mad at Trump for being confused about her race, ethnicity, nationality, whatever, are seemingly forgetting that while you're touting her as a savior for black people, she identifies as an Asian woman. She chose her side and it wasn't ours. When asked if she would ever do anything specifically for black people, she said no. Whereas Trump gave us the Platinum Plan, which specifically uplifted the black community by increasing capital by almost $500 billion, creating 500,000 new black businesses, and would give black churches the ability to fight for federal resources for their communities. And why are we acting like strong borders aren't a thing literally everywhere else in the world? Since when has being patriotic been a crime? See, a few weeks ago at the debate, Trump mentioned black jobs, and a lot of people got in an uproar as if they didn't know what he meant. Well, we go to the polls and cast our black vote. We go to the stores and spend our black dollar. We live in our black community, but for whatever reason, we draw the line at a black job. Oh, but wait, because if you're wondering what a black job is, please, I encourage you all to drive through Atlanta at all these beautiful black-owned businesses and check and see who works there. Probably a black person working for a black entrepreneur, recycling the black dollar, creating black generational wealth. If they come here illegally and they're taking your jobs and your resources, then please believe my cousins in the Appalachians, they're coming for you too. And y'all know Kamala Harris has yet to say Laken Riley's name. As border czar, she opened the border to millions of illegal immigrants that have flooded American streets with deadly drugs and gangs that have spiked overdoses by over 124% and brought more crime into minority communities. So how's that for black folks? But let's take race out of it. Just as a woman, period. How can you be a champion for women's rights when you're taking away opportunities from biological women and giving them to transgendered ones? I'll wait, y'all, because I wasn't done. See, how can you promote equity for women and you're allowing men to play in women's sports? And what kind of feminist would still allow men to enter their sacred spaces, i.e. our bathrooms and school locker rooms? Do I even need to mention the opening ceremony at the Olympics? Or the fact that Angela Carini was forced to fight a man and told us that she's never been punched so hard in her life. We cannot allow dangerous liberals who think things like this are okay into the White House, because my daughter will not be fighting a man at her wrestling match. And what I think both men and women can agree on is that national security is important. So who would y'all rather see lead us into war if it were so to happen? My silk-pressed sister Kamala or the big dog Donald Trump? And lastly, I cannot get up here without mentioning my farmers, the backbone of this country. And aside from the Biden-Harris administration hurting you guys in ways we can't even comprehend by the rising cost of everything, black farmers suffered even more due to the delays associated with the Inflation Reduction Act signed in 2022. Now, don't let the Biden-Harris administration fool you, because they waited until the 9th hour to sign off on disbursements as a last-minute attempt to garner support. But why would they hurt the agricultural industry? Probably because they're looking forward to making more money in the pharmaceutical one. And speaking of pharmaceuticals, because I promise I'm gonna wrap this up, when they bring up abortion and they talk about protecting your medical freedoms, don't be afraid to mention COVID. The Biden-Harris administration forced Americans to take an experimental vaccine and took away their jobs, their livelihoods, and their freedoms if they refused. Trump gave us a choice and Biden gave us a mandate. Hey y'all, because I'm about to kill him with this one. So the next time the left wants to tell you that, hey, abortion is a right and you need to protect your medical freedoms, remember that they took those freedoms away from men and women the second they got in office, and there's nothing stopping them from doing it again. Clock it. So lastly, again, I'm going to encourage you all to vote based on the facts and not feelings. Oh, he made me feel so bad when he said that. Okay, but they hurt your families when they sent all your tax dollars overseas. Oh, it hurts my feelings when he acts like that. Okay, but it hurts all of us when you see an administration failing their country that they were elected to represent. In which case, I'm going to leave y'all with, hey, mama, daddy, I made it. And my baby girl, Amaya, is somewhere in here, so we can all say, hey, Amaya, in unison, because she's the real superstar, y'all. But I'm going to go ahead and let y'all get riled up and ready for Big T himself. Thank you guys for having me. I look forward to seeing you all.
There you go. That's it. See. That's it. That's it, man. There you go. You can stop it there, PW. You go. You can stop it. Yeah, and she called him Big T. You got Big T come out here, man. So what do y'all think? Go ahead, man. Anybody, go ahead.
Her ghetto ass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ain't she?
But you know what though?
That was the perfect sucker punch.
There's one thing that she said that resonated with me, and obviously she's a little flamboyant, and she's a little she's doing what they ask her to do, which is go be I'm gonna say lovely. That's what the word I'm gonna use. That's the word I'm gonna use. The word to use is lovely. But there's one thing that she said that did resonate with me. And she's telling the people, get out your damn feelings.
Yes.
Get out of your feelings. And now that I love about her speech. Get out of your feelings. Feelings is what got us into this mess in the first damn place. Feelings is what had y'all after C-19 saying, oh, I'm gonna go vote for this guy instead. Right? Instead of looking at the policies. Get out of your feelings and look at the policies. And listen, if you agree with Kamala's policies, then vote for her.
That's right.
But if you absolutely can sit there and look yourself in the eye and go, nah, I don't rock with none of this, then vote accordingly. Get out of your feelings. Your feelings are the problem. And that's why they're catering and pandering to women. Because this isn't about policy for them. This is about how they feel. Whereas the other side of this is looking at it, it's like, man, we are listen, when you play sports, Trey Ferg, our Payne, Ghetto, y'all, we all play sports, right?
Yes,
and when
sir.
you ever play in the first quarter and you go down by a lot in the first, we're like, what the hell? Just like we just got smacked out of nowhere. Like it just came out of nowhere. Like, what the hell's going on? We weren't ready for that. What is your coach always telling you? Stick
Slow
to the
down.
plan.
Yeah.
Stick to it. It'll work. We weren't ready. To me, when I look at the Democrats, I'm not completely sure they have a plan. But at least the Republicans have a plan. And at some point, to me, it looks like they are willing to stick to the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does that mean that the black people are going to rise up tomorrow? And no, that's not what that means. But does it mean that prices of things that you need on a regular basis are going to lower, like your gas and your eggs and your milk and your cereal and your insurance and things that truly affect you day in and day out? Yes, it's going to go down. Right now, the unemployment, if you look at unemployment rate last year, I think it was 3.7. It's up to 4.3 this year. People don't have jobs.
That's right.
People aren't working. So while she is lovely, she made a very good point in this isn't about how you feel, and that this is about policy and whether or not we can try to right the ship, because this ship is headed towards a goddamn iceberg.
Absolutely. Hey, so that's what I liked about her too, because she's not what's her name? Condoleezza Rice kind of conservative black woman. She's just a chick that would be out there, look like she parties. She got a baby, a mama. Her and Amber Rose were a big change for the kind of people that talk in the Republican convention. And I think that's important. It resonates. It resonates from the standpoint that this is that, you know what? That party could be expanded and it could be worked better, because I think their conservative views, forget about the corporate stuff. They're all crooked, right? But the fact is that their conservative views mean everything doesn't go. And there's a lot of people who don't agree with everything that goes. Everything shouldn't go, right? With Trump saying that the abortion is at the state level, I think that's where it belongs. So I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting 4 months. Now, if Kamala wants to, she's going to want to debate Trump. They want to put it on Fox News, right? After the convention, right? And so I'm saying, listen, Trump has already proven to go into a lion's den when he went to Tapper, who hates his guts. And then he went to that black thing where all the black women attacked him. So Kamala's going to have to go to Fox News and step in the lion's den and defend her positions. And if she wants to debate, she's going to have to. And I think Trump shouldn't back down from that. We did it your way. You're going to do it my way. And but you got to have some chops if you want to be president. Well, let's go through the last. We got Mayhem Monday coming up. So let's do the last words. Go ahead. Ghetto point of view. What you got?
Just salute. Great show, sir. You edited us up well. You definitely presented your arguments straight and to the point. Even Anissa has to see that your arguments make sense at this point. So just great show. Great show. Yes.
Trey Ferg, what you got?
Man, listen, man. I really don't know what to say, man, except everybody continue. As far as our future, man, everybody, from what I'm seeing, you know, everybody's saying fuck them kids, man. And it's sad because we've been down this road, what, 50, 60, 70 years now, and they continue to slap us in the face on both sides every 4 years. They go talk to a small group, ladies and gentlemen, of political interest. The people are not in the church. Come and talk to the men. Brothers are in a position now where they are awake. They're paying attention to what y'all are doing and not what you're saying. So if you don't come and talk to us, I don't know. It can play, it can almost put our future as not even being existent in the next 200 years. But again, if the women don't side with us, we all gonna lose. Fuck them kids is what I say. That they say. I don't say it. I love the kids. I work with the kids.
We know you ain't talking about yourself.
They say fuck the kids because the future's only thinking about them and now, and not the longevity of young men and young women that can help America grow. But I don't know, man.
All right. All right, man. Trey, you got anything else?
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, like I said before, somebody will be elected in November and somebody will take office in January. You need to think long and hard about what you want 2025 through 2029 to look like. Because if you want more of the same, then vote Kamala. But if you want to get back to a time in which things were slightly better, I won't say they were the best they ever have been, but they certainly were better than what they have been in the last 4 years, then Trump is your answer. Either way, whether you choose to exercise your right to vote or not, this is going to happen.
Yes.
One way or another, it's going to happen. So you can either be a part of this process or you cannot be a part of it. At the end of the day, these politicians don't give a damn whether you vote or not. They just want to win. And you need to understand that. The other thing I'll say about this is too, if you have a child that's 8, I'll say 8 or older, and if they aren't watching this, you are wrong as a parent. I mean that.
Teach.
If you have a child that's 8 or older, and you aren't sitting them down and having them watch this process to learn how real politics works in this country, how the country works, explaining assassination attempts, explaining identity politics and pandering, you need to be teaching your children this. When I was growing up, you had to learn about George H. Bush and Clinton playing a saxophone or Arsenio. I sat through class and watched the whole O.J. Simpson thing, the white Bronco thing. We watched it on TV. We watched the whole thing and his trial when he was acquitted. These things are important to the fabric of the country, and this is going to be important going forward. And your children need to learn about this, especially if they share our reflection. They should not be playing video games. They need to be learning about how this country, what they really truly think about us, and especially if you have sons.
Come on.
If you have a son, you need to show them that this is a woman who completely skipped over black men. She don't want to come talk to us at all. She didn't go to no barbershops. She didn't go to no basketball courts. She didn't go to shit where she knew black men were going to be, because she doesn't have to want to answer the hard questions, because black men are going to ask her hard questions.
Yep.
It's
So
just
there you
shameful
go.
that RFK has been on more hip hop podcasts than Kamala Harris. Leave it alone. RFK pulled up the Matt Hopkins.
Hey, bro, every time I turn around, I'm like, damn, if RFK sit down with Killer Mike or LeBron one more time, I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, well, hey man, that's the bad. Thank you guys for coming up, man. The chat, man. We got David Byrne, A-Team is in there, JM707, Catilia, and Lisa for her contributions, good and bad. You know, Take Heed was here. Everybody, BFU in the back. This was a good one.
Anissa voting Republican. Don't let her fool y'all. When she get in that booth,
Yeah, she's there. KP, man, thanks for coming up. Yeah, he was up for. So who else is there? Everybody was who showed up in the chat, man. Thanks a lot. Hey, listen, what else is there to say? We covered a lot. One, identity politics is no reason to vote for anybody. That's one. And two, if you're going to vote for a candidate, find something that they actually stand for. And if that's good for you, that's what you vote for, but not just identity politics. I think Kamala Harris is up for a long road. And once this little bump is over, and it's going to be over, then she's going to have to get down and dirty and see if she could actually beat Trump. And I think it will be a dark day, but we'll see. Black men, don't give your votes to the Democrats. But that's just me. All right. Hey, take us out of here, BMU. Thanks a lot for everybody. Peace.
Grace is next. Monday Mayhem.
That's right. Yeah. Monday Mayhem. Grace is next. Man. See, now we're still on. Black man ain't over there, so we're gonna have to stay on until he comes up and takes us out of here. I don't want the dead hair up there. You know what I'm saying? But that's cool.
When Trump get in office, black man, we're gonna put some new engineers in the budget for you.
Yeah. You messed up my exit, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, that's all right. Hey, listen, I tell you what. Yeah, we're still live, so we got to be cool with what we say. So, but hey, listen, I think this was good. I hope it was educational for the folks in the chat, because it's been educational for us, and it's just beginning. I think we're gonna start seeing more and more black folks up there. It'd be nice to see more black men, other than what's the brother's name? Who's an articulate guy? He's kind of chubby. Represent Donald. Yeah, he's a conservative. He can really acquit himself pretty well. I think he's a congressman, isn't he? Donald, the black guy. I think he might be. The kind of chubby black guy who's a Trump dude. Huh?
I thought you were talking about Tim Scott, are you?
No, it's just a guy named Donald. His last name is Donald. He's a young guy, and he's I'm surprised.
Was he on the committee for the Secret Service?
No.
Well,
I think he was.
The guy that was grilling her.
I think he had a shot at her. Yes, he did. That guy.
Yeah.
He did have.
He's quite intelligent.
Yeah, he's pretty good, man. He's everywhere.
Hey, can I say something to the black women? Y'all, the black women who are questioning like her policy, kudos to y'all. For real, on some real shit. Kudos to the black women who are saying, I don't give a damn if she black, white, green, or purple. What's your policy? Kudos to y'all. Because I'm going through my Instagram and I'm seeing a lot of black women, and when I read the comments, I'm seeing a lot of black women going, I don't give a damn what she say. What's your policy?
Yeah, there's more
and
more.
So the black women who are asking those questions and are going to hold Kamala's feet to the fire on that, good for y'all. Good for y'all, because that's what we need when it comes to these politicians. And that when she tries to pander to y'all and say, well, look, I'm like y'all. I cook collard greens in the tub like y'all. We don't give a damn about all that. We don't give a damn about all that. We don't want to hear all that. What's your policies? And so I see these black women that are doing that, and I just want to say to y'all, black women who are doing that, good for you.
Absolutely.
Good for you, because that's gonna make better politicians.
Absolutely, and it makes and it puts a dent in that stupid ass sister code. Just for that, so that's good. It's Byron Donald, B-Y, Byron Donald.
I knew Catellia was gonna be on it.
Yeah, man, she's on top of everything, man. That's good. But anyhow, yeah. So I think that that was a good take there. But I'm seeing more and more sisters, and some of them are quite radical against Kamala Harris. I mean, they're coming out. They're mostly on TikTok.
Yeah, they ain't with the bullshit, Payne. They really are not. Like, I'm watching them, because it's so. It's not that it's so rare. It's just that when they do it, it's like they're not holding back.
Right.
They're not holding back. They letting them hands fly, man. They letting them fly. I'm like, wow, this is black women saying, nah, sweetie, that's not gonna work over here.
Absolutely. So that's why I'm saying I think I can see that bloom, that little bud, that bloom that she got from just announcing her like that. I think it's starting to wear off, and even the news media's propaganda is starting to wear off. They can't just keep that in a cycle. And now that the market crashing, nobody wants to hear none of that shit. Nobody wants to hear none of that.
You fucking with our money now.
That's right.
With our money now.
Don't be telling me everything is good. The market's going left, man. You know, hell with that.
Them retirement accounts is looking thin right now.
You damn right, man. Holy shit. Well, I tell you, right now I'm looking at the percentages, man. I like dips because dips are good if you have cash.
Huge.
You should always have some cash in reserves.
Yeah.
And let me tell y'all something. When these pullbacks happen, there's a guy by the name of Warren Buffett. He said, when everybody else is greedy, be fearful. When everybody is fearful,
be greedy.
That's right.
There's an opportunity that's going to come here. I'm going to tell you, when you get pullbacks like this, that screams opportunity in the markets. It always recovers. There has never been a time in the history of recorded stock market that when there was a pullback, or even when there's a recession, or even after anything, that the market did not recover and go to higher highs. So these pullbacks are an opportunity. Listen to me, black people. I'm talking to y'all. This is an opportunity.
That's
right. When you get these pullbacks like this, it's an opportunity for you to go into the market and boost your net worth. Right. One of the things that people don't like about Trump is, you guys remember after Hurricane Katrina, well, Trump went down there and did something that was a little radical. I thought it was brilliant as a businessman, but it was just insensitive and cold. He brought up all them houses.
Oh,
he brought up all them houses. But why? Yeah. Because they were cheap.
Yeah. Right.
That's business. So I'm using that example to show y'all that you're getting ready to get a lot of stocks and a lot of shares at a discount right now. They're lower than what they are. So your Teslas and your Nvidias, your Microsofts, your Apples, your Coca-Colas, your Pepsis, your all these companies, these companies that ain't going nowhere. They're gonna be cheap.
Nvidia went down to $90, man.
Crazy.
That is cheap. And by the way, for those of y'all who don't know, Nvidia is a semiconductor, company. Nvidia just had a stock split.
Yes, they did.
That's why they're down. So listen, they will get back up to where they are because semiconductors ain't going nowhere. We need them in life.
Right, we getting ready to go to war over some of them.
Yeah, and that's why we protecting Chinese Taipei or Taiwan so much, because we're the majority of the semiconductors made. Taiwan.
There you go. So hey, listen, there's some good takes for everybody out there, and this is a good time. A couple more maybe weeks of this. If you got any money, that's to open those accounts and start to get in there. So my girls are on my ladies, my young ladies, they dollar cost average, and they got a long way to go. So this is the best time. As long as you put money in, buy more now. Anyway, BMU, if you out there, you can take us out of there. I know we got to get ready for Mayhem Monday with Embrace the Grace. So whenever you're ready, take us out. I feel like the millennial power.
Wake him up. Wake him up.
That's all right. We can't.
They gotta give you the controls. They gotta
give me they refuse to give me the controls.
They don't trust you.
Why don't trust me? I got my own channel and everything. You know what I'm saying? And listen,
they trust you with the first show of the week, but they don't trust you.
Yeah, no, man, they don't want to give me the controls. I might do something radical. But I tell you what, I got a video on my channel that for some reason it's moving up there, man. Just in one day got like 1,500 views on it. And it's that young lady. It's that young lady.
Oh, it's Michaela?
Yeah. I have that whole series.
Whether they wrote that speech for her or not is irrelevant. I could care less.
She delivered it well.
Right? Yeah. The fact is did she deliver what they asked her to deliver? And the answer is yes. Here's the thing. When you have the DNC, there's going to be some prepared speeches for some of them too.
Yeah.
And the question is can they deliver? Listen, she did it her way. She didn't have to go outside of being who she is. She is who she is. And at that much, at least I can respect. But what she said made sense.
Yes, it did.
It made sense. And even using the stats, it made sense. And that's all I care about.
Well said, sir.
All right. Okay, man. Well, here you go. I don't know if BMU's back there. Whoever. I know he's probably still working or something, man, and trying to do his thing. But hey, Grace. So listen, man.
causing mayhem every motherfucking Mondays from. I'm causing mayhem every motherfucking Mondays from now on, and I want y'all to bring it.